GACE Practice Test 2026 Georgia Assessment Certification Educators Exam Questions. Question 1. What is the primary core objective when studying for the GACE? To memorize isolated facts without context. To apply comprehensive theoretical frameworks to practical scenarios. To focus solely on historical developments. To bypass standardized operational procedures. The primary objective is the practical application of comprehensive frameworks, which ensures competency in real-world environments. Question 2. Which of the following methodologies is most appropriate when addressing standard scenarios in GACE? Implementing evidence-based best practices, relying strictly on anecdotal experiences, utilizing deprecated models of analysis, delegating the assessment to untrained personnel. Evidence-based best practices are critical for ensuring accuracy and reliability in professional applications. Question 3. In the context of the GACE, how should a practitioner handle an unexpected critical anomaly? Ignore the anomaly and proceed with standard steps. Document the anomaly and apply standard troubleshooting or referral protocols. Immediately cease all operations permanently. Guess the solution without documentation. Proper documentation and adherence to troubleshooting/referral protocols ensure safety and compliance. Question 4. Which concept forms the foundational baseline for the GACE framework? Ethical compliance and standardized operational guidelines, subjective interpretation of empirical data, unregulated experimentation, outdated legacy systems management. Ethical compliance and standardized guidelines are universally mandated across professional certification frameworks. Question 5. When preparing a strategic assessment for GACE, what is the most crucial factor? Speed of completion over accuracy, thorough evaluation of all variables and adherence to guidelines, focusing only on the easiest variables, using unverified secondary data sources. Thorough evaluation ensures all factors are considered, minimizing risk and ensuring comprehensive results. Question 6. Which action represents a violation of professional standards in the context of GACE? Engaging in continuous education, failing to document material changes in a timely manner, consulting with peers on complex issues, adhering strictly to compliance regulations. Failure to document material changes violates transparency and accountability standards expected in the profession. Question 7. What is the recommended approach for integrating new regulatory updates into GACE practices? Wait until a penalty is issued before adopting. Review, understand, and systematically integrate the updates immediately. Assume old practices are permanently grandfathered in. Apply updates only to future theoretical models. Proactive integration of regulatory updates ensures continuous compliance and professional efficacy. Question 8. Which diagnostic or evaluative tool is typically prioritized within the GACE domain? The most recent standardized empirical assessment tool, tools developed prior to 1980, uncalibrated proprietary software, word-of-mouth qualitative surveys exclusively. Standardized empirical assessment tools provide the most reliable, valid, and legally defensible data. Question 9. In relation to GACE, how is quality assurance best maintained? Through sporadic, unannounced external audits only, via consistent, systematic internal reviews and adherence to protocols, by assigning QA to the newest team member, by ignoring minor deviations from the standard. Consistent, systematic internal reviews catch errors early and maintain a high standard of operational excellence. Question 10. What is the most effective way to communicate complex GACE findings to a non-technical stakeholder? Using heavy jargon to demonstrate expertise, translating the data into clear, actionable, and accessible language, refusing to explain the details, providing raw data dumps without context. Clear communication facilitates understanding, enabling stakeholders to make informed decisions based on the findings. Question 11. When a standard protocol in GACE contradicts a specific situational variable, what is the best course of action? Blindly follow the standard protocol regardless of outcome, evaluate the risk, document the rationale for any deviation, and consult supervisors. Abandon all protocols entirely. Apply a protocol from an unrelated field. Professional judgment requires evaluating risks, documenting necessary deviations, and seeking appropriate consultation. Question 12. Which of the following best describes the ethical obligation associated with GACE? Maximizing personal gain through restricted knowledge, ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and professional competence, sharing sensitive data publicly for peer review, only following ethics when legally compelled. Confidentiality, integrity, and professional competence are the pillars of professional ethical obligations. Question 13. What role does continuous improvement play in the GACE sector? It is an optional enhancement for advanced practitioners. It is a mandatory ongoing process to adapt to evolving standards. It is solely the responsibility of regulatory bodies. It is irrelevant once initial certification is achieved. Evolving standards and new discoveries necessitate continuous improvement to maintain professional competence. Question 14. Identify the most common source of systemic failure within GACE applications. Over-reliance on standardized procedures, lack of proper communication and inadequate documentation, excessive training and preparation, strict adherence to safety protocols. Communication breakdowns and poor documentation frequently lead to compounded errors and systemic failures. Question 15. When evaluating a case study related to GACE, what is the first analytical step? Recommending a final solution, identifying the core problem and gathering relevant baseline data, drafting a summary report, implementing a temporary fix. Identifying the core problem and gathering data are prerequisites to forming an effective and accurate solution. Question 16. How should a professional within the GACE field handle conflicting empirical data? Choose the data that supports their initial hypothesis. Conduct a thorough methodology review to identify discrepancies. Discard all data and start over. Average the conflicting data without investigation. Reviewing methodologies helps identify errors or variables that account for the conflicting data, ensuring accuracy. Question 17. Which of the following indicates a high level of proficiency in GACE? The ability to perform tasks without any pre-planning, the capacity to synthesize complex information and anticipate potential outcomes, relying exclusively on reference manuals for routine tasks, working faster than peers regardless of error rates. Synthesizing information and anticipating outcomes demonstrates a deep understanding and mastery of the subject matter. Question 18. What is the principal benefit of standardizing terminology within the GACE profession? It makes the field exclusive and difficult to enter. It ensures clear, unambiguous communication across different entities. It allows for looser interpretation of rules. It eliminates the need for further education. Standardized terminology prevents misunderstandings and ensures that all professionals are operating with the same definitions. Question 19. In a high-stress scenario involving GACE, what is the key to successful management? Panic and immediate delegation of all responsibilities, maintaining situational awareness and methodical application of protocols, focusing on a single minor detail until it is resolved, ignoring safety measures to save time. Situational awareness and methodical protocol application maintain control and ensure safe, effective outcomes under pressure. Question 20. What is the ultimate goal of mastering the principles of GACE? To achieve a static state of knowledge, to deliver optimal outcomes while minimizing risk and maximizing efficiency, to surpass peers in theoretical debates, to transition to an entirely different career field. Optimal outcomes, risk minimization, and high efficiency are the universal goals of professional mastery and certification.